Welcome to A Kiss with the Petals, the new generation, brought to you by GameAnyone.com. Oh my. Yes, let's get this party started. This Lily party. I've gotten fairly used to the school's standard greeting of, "Good day to you." This sounds horribly familiar. But mentioning that reminds me. I think the first time I heard someone say, "Good day to you," out loud, I had to stop and look over my shoulder to make sure they weren't going to run you over.
ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。宿題はもうお済みになりまして。当然ですわ。教育を受ける者の権利ですもの。さすがですわ。教育を受ける権利。深いですわね。
Privilege. These schools for rich girls were really something else. I never could have pictured anyone saying something that profound so early in the morning at my old school. As I began to merge with the other young ladies, walking to school, a fancy car overtook us from behind. This school seemed to be the default option for the refined young girls who commuted in cars that fancy. The more I thought about it, the more I felt like I did not belong here. Everyone had been so kind and done their best to make me feel at home when I transferred in September, though. But still, I could not help but wonder if they were gradually starting to find me obnoxious. Maybe they were getting so tired of dealing with me, but it wouldn't be long before they started hiding the shoes from my locker. If it was just hiding my shoes, I could handle that. But it's not just my shoes. They're taking my vibrators away too, and they're hiding them in the janitor's bucket. Or maybe one day I would open my lunchbox, only to have a cute little frog jump out at me, and then rape you. A frog. Big deal. You say that now, but you might regret it. It would take more than that to shock a country girl like me. They probably only have tree frogs here in the big city, but head out into the country. And you will find big fat bullfrogs and toads. Oh no, not toads. And if they didn't like the way I laughed it off like it was nothing, maybe the girls would all gang up on me and push me to the ground. And then proceed to do wholesome things. And then it would begin surviving at St. Michael's. I really didn't know if I could survive. Something bumped into me from behind.
挨拶も何もなしで朝一でこれ謝るのは後っていうか葉月一生のお願い私と一緒に逃げて一生のって
Aya led me by the hand, or more like dragged me behind her, and we ran through the central courtyard until we were covered in sweat and decided to make out behind the schoolhouse. Surviving St. Michael's had begun. Except it wasn't like that at all. I found myself in the awkward position of playing hide and seek with Aya, like this on a regular basis. I stuffed her behind a tree, and then stood in the rear garden looking nonchalant.
まったくもうあんたの一生は1週間に何回発生するわけ毎朝毎朝ほんとよく飽きないわね
I never get tired of being chased by cute little girls.
私だっていい加減にしたいわよでも来たわよ
A girl rushed over from the other side of the courtyard, sporting a look of desperation. She looked just like Aya, probably because they were twins.
あやはどこ
Aya's elder twin sister, Ai-san, looked up at me with tears in her eyes. It rhymes. These two had gotten me mixed up in their game of hide and seek, without even bothering to say good morning.
おはようアイさん
After choking out her words, and wearing an expression I recognized as one of reluctance, Ai-san crossed her legs and curtsied slightly.
ごきげんよう葉月さん
And of course, she remembered to spread out her skirt with both hands. Well, at least she didn't spread out her ass with both hands. It was no surprise the feminine gesture came to her so naturally.
でそんなことよりあやはどこ行ったの
And there she stood, accusing me, although she'd taken her greeting surprisingly seriously.
そう知らないわ嘘さっきあやが葉月さんと手をつないで走ってるとこ私見てたんだから
Her eyes were surprisingly good.
あなたのあやさんの早朝ダッシュに付き合わされてここに連れてこられたのは事実よでも私を置いてかやったらどこか走って行っちゃったのよね
Like anyone is going to believe this?
まったくもう挨拶くらいしなさいって愛さんからも言っておいてくれない
She looked at me suspiciously.
本当にアーヤと一緒じゃないの？ご覧の通り見たまんま。
Do you? Look very hard.
アヤが隠れてたら別だけど、見当たらないわね。
If this wasn't a school for refined young ladies. And if Isan herself wasn't such a refined young lady, I might have laid it on a little thicker. Ooh, baby. The girls love it thick. However, this was the highly renowned annex. Ooh, that didn't sound good. However, this was the highly renowned annex of the St. Michael's School for Refined Young Ladies. I hope they're really refined. And Isan was 100% refined young lady.
So, 疑って悪かったわ。ごめん。
Wow, I could hardly believe these girls. That was too easy. She was totally right to have doubted me. But she swallowed my story without any hesitation. As Isan started to walk away, she glanced back at me.
あの、
Are you lying to me?
何って、
Isan looked like she was about to cry.
もしアーヤを見かけたら、私が探してたって伝えてくれる？もちろんよ。お願いね。
Whoa. She made me feel so bad for her. Her tearful face filled me with such a protective instinct. It made me want to come out and say, the girl you are looking for is actually hiding right behind this tree. As I watched her trudge away, I let out a far sigh.
まったくもう。
My blood boiled at how Aya could put her sister in such a pitiful state without batting an eye. On the other hand, I was a little unnerved by the whole thing. Was it really alright for the girls at this school to be so subdued? I was not exactly the most experienced person, but I knew how unforgiving the world could be from my conversations with my parents. Then again, was it really that bad if the girls at this school were ignorant of that sort of thing? If the wealthy daughter of an influential family found herself in trouble, there would probably be no shortage of people to help. That was the difference between them and a regular person like me. If I was faced with some kind of trouble, I doubt anyone would come running to my rescue. That is why I had to be able to handle anything on my own.
何よ、あの子一人で何でもできちゃうなんて。って仲間に入れてもらえなくなるんだわ。いいんじゃないの？あの子自分でできるんだもの。私たちが気を使ってやる必要なんかないわ。
They would call me bossy and conceited. They would take my lunch from me.
返して欲しければ床に這いつくばってワンと言いなさい。とか命令されちゃうんだわ。
And then they'd say you have to fuck like a dog too. And then this wouldn't be for refined young ladies. And then when I did what they said, they would step on my head. Ah, how pathetic.
あなたが私好みの美しい女王様だったら喜んで言う通りにします。だから私を一人にしないで。
You might regret those words.
そして優しく踏んでください。そろそろいい？
Remember me? I snapped back to my senses and looked around nervously, noticing Aya was giving me a stunned look.
あんたの妄想劇場が始まってたみたいだから、愛がどっか行ったって判断して出てきたのよ。
The theater of my mind.
いくら時期的に涼しくなってきたって言っても、あんなとこに潜み続けてたら蚊に食われちゃうでしょ。藪の中には蚊なんて年中いるのよ。愛がいなくなったんなら早く合図してよね。ごめんね。
Sorry, Aya. I totally forgot you were back there.
っていうか、逃げ回ってばっかりじゃ愛さんかわいそうだよ。
She responded with an unpleasant look and turned away. I got the impression her conscience was gnawing at her for avoiding her sister.
愛さん、必死で追いかけてきたのに、かわいそうに涙目になってたよ。
She might have actually been crying. I looked at Aya as I scolded her.
だってみんなが見てる前でベタベタされるの恥ずかしくて。それに私そんなにスキンシップに慣れてないし。
From the way she murmured under her breath, it seemed like even she realized she was avoiding Ai-san too much.
たくもう恥ずかしいなら恥ずかしいんだってちゃんと言ってあげればいいのに。
Aya let out a heavy sigh.
言って聞くような子だったら逃げ回ったりしないわよ。だよね。
I laughed out loud. This game of hide and seek between Ai-san and Aya had been going on just about every day since I started coming to this school about a month ago. It was obvious how much Ai-san liked Aya, even without her saying it. Her sister's stalkerish tendencies were so severe, it was not unusual for me to get mixed up in things, given all the time Aya and I spent together.
だいたいね、この付属の子ってさ、愛をはじめとしてあんまり我慢しない子が多すぎなのよ。そりゃお嬢様には我慢なんて必要ないのかもしんないけどさ。
I had just been thinking the same thing a few minutes ago, and nodded in agreement. As I was nodding, I suddenly realized something.
あんたが言うな。あら、私も庶民よ。今はゆえあってブルジョワ暮らしをしてるけど、心は庶民だもん。
Oh yeah. I had actually heard something in passing about their family situation not that long ago. Aya-san and Ai-san were twins, but for some reason, Aya had been raised separately. I did not know the details. But it seemed like the reason Aya and I got along so well was because she had spent so much time growing up around regular people. Either way, I was glad she was at this school. Otherwise, I would have never been able to relate to my classmates, and I would have been left out in the cold. Even so, the more I hung out with Aya, the more Ai-san seemed to dislike me. She was not very outgoing, and most of the conversations we had revolved around the topic, where is Aya? But what if?
葉月さんったらちょっと可愛いからってすぐ私のアヤにベタベタして。
What if it was really an illicit relationship between twins? Like what the intro told us.
可愛いだなんて嬉しいわ、アイさん。アヤとは気が合う仲間みたいな感じで、あなたたち姉妹の間に割り込むつもりはないのよ。許さないもん。あら、困ったわね。どうしようかしら。そんなに許してほしいの？もちろんよ。そうね。どうしても許してほしいんなら、私にキスしなさい。
Oh, she has to share her genes with you. But that would put me in the middle of a love triangle. And that wouldn't be fair to Aya. What was I supposed to do? If I got mixed up in a love triangle, and the police had to get involved, their parents might end up blaming me. And then there would be a trial, and regular people never win against the upper class. And I would end up all alone behind bars. Mother, Father, I am so sorry.
どうしたらあのベタベタがマシになるのかな。
I would have gone off on another one of my mental trips. I was so bad about that. I had to be more careful. Aya's heavy sigh had finally brought me back to reality. I was terrible.
というか、ハグくらいはともかく、人前でチューとかするのはほんと勘弁してほしい。つかハグもできればやめてほしい。いろんな人がジロジロ見るから。だったらさ。
I finally show up to interrupt Aya's complaining.
だったらいっそ、アヤの方からベタベタ仕返してやればいいじゃん。例のあの子たちみたいに。
I suddenly brought up another pair of classmates who popped into my mind. Those two, who had been friends since they were little, were always hugging and kissing each other in class, not caring the slightest bit that anyone might be watching. Oh, they made me so jealous.
もう何よ、他人事だと思って。いや、だって他人事だもん。この悪魔、人の不幸は蜜の味ってね。飯うま。あんたなんか殴ってやるわ。キャー、暴力反対見つけた。
Aya suddenly leapt to her feet.
アヤのバカ。
Aya-san hugged Aya firmly. She rubbed her head against Aya's chest. It looked uncomfortably hot. Actually, Ai-san looked almost like a cat. Thankfully, there weren't many other people around. Maybe even more thankfully, it wasn't summer.
私を置いて先に行かないでっていつも言ってるのに。ごめんってば。アヤのバカ。いや、もうバカでいいから。ねえ、愛ってば離れて。熱い。ひどい。アヤ、私たちは同じ一つの細胞を二人で分け合った世界で二人だけの双子なのにそんな冷たいこと言うなんて。ああやってばひどい。分かったからね、離れて。分かってない。あや絶対分かってない。私がどれだけあやと一緒にいたいのかって気持ち全然分かってない。
Aya looked at me with a confounded expression. I had no idea. I had no choice. I was going to have to be the bad guy here and back Aya up.
まあまあ、そんなにしがみついたらあやも苦しいと思うよ。
Ooh, sexy. But what's with your hair? Why is it standing up on end? Ai-san, who had been so noisy a second ago, suddenly got very quiet and stared at me. I thought I even heard a low growl. No, she was not just staring at me. It was more like a scowl. Like she was wary of me.
大丈夫よ、そんなに警戒しなくても。愛さんからあやを取ったりしないって。だってかわいいね、子猫みたいで。ああ、もう威嚇しないの。私にまで威嚇しない。
Ah, the expression on Aya's face when she laughed. It was so gentle. Like she was exuding kindness. Ai-san was clearly important to her, but she could have done a better job of showing it. She said she wasn't big on physical affection, but there was no point in hiding how she really felt. Actually, it looked like Ai-san really did understand how Aya felt. Until...
落ち着いた？あやがあの子とばっかり仲良くするから私だって葉月は友達だもん。私の方があやの一番だもん。入ったら
Aya smiled uncomfortably.
友達と姉は違うでしょ。違わないわ。姉妹の絆の方が強いもん。いや、絆の話をしてるんじゃなくてね。もちろん愛のことは大事よ。でも学校にいるんだから学校ならではの友人関係も作りたいわけ。 私はアーヤ一人いれば十分なのに、アーヤはそうじゃないの。アーヤのバカ。もうしょうがない子ね。子供扱いして。私の方がお姉さんなのに。だったらお姉さんらしいとこ見せてよね。ことでごめん、この子連れてくから。お騒がせしました。ほら行くよ、アイ。
Aya left, dragging Aya-san behind her. Poor Aya.
相変わらず騒がしい人たちですこと。ねえ、なぎさ。
And who is this new person? We'll find out on the next exciting episode. Look forward to it.